Hey, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about the top three teams in the NBA right now and how I think they're going to perform in the playoffs. Starting off with the Boston Celtics, they look phenomenal, right? They just been blowing everyone out, except for the Pacers. That Pacers game, a little bit iffy. However, they forced overtime, coming back from down by like 20 points in the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum looks great. All right. They're also missing Kristaps Porzingis. Jaylen Brown looks great. Derek White looks great. Pritchard struggled the first game, but other than that, he's been looking great. The Celtics look very deep, and they look like they could win this finals again. They look like they're going to go back to back, which sucks. I'm a Laker fan, but as of right now, I can't see anything else changing. I mean, teams usually have strengths and weaknesses, but the Celtics, they're not showing any weaknesses right now. Everyone's shooting well. Everyone's staying healthy for the most part, besides Kristaps, which that's an underrated part of their finals run last season. They made the finals mostly because they were all healthy the whole year. That's great. You love to see that. That's very rare, but if the Celtics can stay healthy again this season, they're most likely going to make the finals. Now, the East is very top heavy, right? It's the Celtics, it's the Cavs, it's the Knicks. There's not really another team that I see right now that's stepping up. The Bucks are going to bounce back, and so are sorry, the Bucks are going to bounce back, and so are the 76ers. But I still can't see a fully healthy Bucks team or a fully healthy Sixers team even challenging this Celtics team. The Celtics are just way too deep, and they do everything so efficiently. Even their defense is great. Looking at the game log right now, the most they've allowed in the game was to Indiana when they lost, but that was also an overtime game. They held the Knicks to 109. It's a good Knicks team. Held the Wizards to 102. That's fine. Detroit was a close game. Cade had a really good game. So did Jaden Ivey. They only won that game by 6, but still held them 118. Whatever. 119 to 108. They beat Milwaukee, holding Dame and Giannis to 108. I think that's pretty impressive. And then that, of course, that Pacers game, which the Pacers had struggled going into that game. So that they had the best offense in the league last year, and there's not much that's changed from that offensive system. So they're going to keep being good on offense. But really, the Celtics, they're my favorite to win it all. I think they're definitely going to make the finals. That's what my take. I think they're going to make the finals, and I think they're probably going to win it all. Moving on to my second team that's really surprised a lot of NBA fans, the Cavs. On paper, the Cavs are so good. They have two elite big men in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, which, if you've been watching the games, you know both these guys are playing out of their minds. Allen's always been defensively oriented. Mobley's getting a better outside game, which looks really scary for the league. Mobley looks like, I don't know. I'm very, very excited to watch him. I'll tell you that. He's probably this. I take that back. I was gonna say he's the most fun player to watch on the Cavs, but he's not. It's got to be Darius Garland. Darius Garland is the definition of a crafty guard. Some of the moves he pulls off, crazy. I love Darius Garland. And you know what else I love? I love Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has been playing so good this year. The Cavs are 8-0, 9-0 right now. I'm filming this video on Wednesday afternoon. So this is before the Cavs play, and this is before the Celtics play. So the records could change. Forgive me. Um, but yeah, no, the Cavs, they've got everything. They even got like shooting depth off the bench with Sam Merrill, Jordan Niang. They have good defense with Allen and Mobley, and they have a Coro. Karis LeVert's a good scorer. Ty Jerome's been playing really good minutes and effective minutes. I like Ty Jerome. I liked him when he was coming out of Virginia, but excuse me, he didn't get any playing time coming out of there. They also have Amani Bates, who they haven't been getting in at all. He doesn't fit into that system. I hate to say it. Amani Bates is a great player. He's not going to play on the Cavs. Their playoff run, right? I think that the Cavs could, I think they could knock off the Celtics. I really do. I mean, in the East, it's going to be either the Cavs or the Knicks. Those are the only two teams that have a chance. And right now, the Cavs look like they match up really, really well versus the Celtics. I mean, if they do play, I will say, probably going to be a very, very high scoring series because Derek White's probably going to end up guarding either Garland or Donovan Mitchell, and the other one is going to have a really good game offensively because Brown, yeah, he's a great defender. These Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are just, I don't know, they're too athletic. And on the other side, Okoro is probably their best defender. I want to say Isaac Okoro is probably their best defender. I saw him guarding Dame last night. I think, yeah. So I'm pretty sure Okoro is their guy when it comes to defense. I could be wrong. But Okoro is not going to be able to stop Dame and Jaylen Brown. I mean, I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to have a meh series versus them because they have Mobley and Jared Allen. And I don't know how the Cavs are using Mobley right now, but I freaking love it. I love the way they're using him. I know I've been talking a lot about Mobley, but if you watch the game, he's been getting buckets. And it's not just like feed him in the post and he just like wide open layups. He creates. He has some nice moves. He had this like turnaround jumper the other day. I forget the team. He hit the Kobe fadeaway. He's 6'10". That's crazy. That should not be happening. Anyways, yeah, the Cavs, they definitely could win the finals. But their only problem is the Celtics. Otherwise, they're there. But the Celtics are so good. As many of you guys probably could have easily predicted, the last team I'm going to talk about is in the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder. As of right now, they look like the best team in the West by far. However, the West is very stacked, right? Even the Northwest is stacked. They have the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. All three of those teams are going to make the playoffs. And all three of those teams are going to be pretty high seeds. It's going to be fun to see how it unfolds. Again, Thunder coming off of being the number one seed, falling short in the playoffs. That is, in my opinion, it's because they didn't have any veteran leadership. If they had a little bit of veteran leadership and a little bit better shooting, they're making the finals and they're giving the Celtics a run for their money. I'll tell you that. The shooting. Let's just address their shooting, right? They don't really have anyone that's just a pure shooter that I can think of off the top of my head. Again, could be wrong. Not looking at like a roster or anything right now. But they do have a lot of good pieces off the bench, right? I mean, their starting five, great, obviously. But I'm talking about these guys like Aaron Wiggins, who looks really good as a scorer. Ousmane Dieng, I think I might have said that wrong. He's a project, but he's been getting better minutes and he's been looking a lot better. Cason Wallace looks good off the bench for some defense. And having either Dort or Caruso, I'm not really sure who's starting right now. They kind of like flip it a little bit. Either one of those players coming off the bench is great. But again, for defense, the Thunder don't have a good enough shooter, in my opinion, to thrive in the West or even in to try to win a championship. Because if you look, most of these teams have designated shooters, whether the Celtics last year was Sam Hauser and Derek White, lights out. Tatum can also shoot a really pretty good. Brown can shoot a really good. But if you go to the Thunder, in today's game, you have to have a three ball. You have to have at least one guy. Could you imagine the Thunder got, like for example, just hypothetically, if they got Klay Thompson this free agency, you know what he brings? He brings veteran leadership and he brings great defense and then most importantly, he brings good shooting. I know Klay struggled recently, but he's the guy. He's the guy that they needed. I mean, Hartenstein's a great addition. Don't get me wrong. But they need one guy that can just come in and shoot. Honestly, like even if they sign Seth Curry, they just get one guy. Because SGA is going to drive. He's going to draw the defenders. He's going to kick it to someone on the wing or in the corner. And they just got to be making their shots. And they're unstoppable. They already are unstoppable. Chet's been playing phenomenally. I don't like Chet, but he's been playing so good. SGA, looks like a front runner for MVP. Again, Jalen Williams, he looks great. Again, Jalen Williams, second best player on that team. Chet's upcoming though. Don't get me wrong, Chet's upcoming, but Jalen Williams is gonna be a Pippen to SGA's Jordan. I know I just compared him to the Bulls. It's fine. you get what I was trying to say. I'm not saying SGA is like the same as Michael Jordan, obviously, but in this sense, Jalen Williams underrated. He'll get you 20 per game. He'll play good defense. I mean, that's kind of what the Thunder's like. It's kind of what the Thunder's thing is. They have really good defense, really, really good defense to the point where teams are. Let's looking at the game log right now. They've held 5 of their 7 teams that they've played against to under 100 points. In this NBA, the Nuggets, the Bulls, the Spurs, I can't speak right now. The Magic and the Clippers. All those teams are pretty good. The only teams that they haven't are the Trailblazers, who they beat by 20 still, and the Hawks, who they also beat by 20. So it doesn't matter that they scored over 100 points. The Thunder, the more that I look at them, the more I like them. They just got to get out of the Western Conference into the finals, and then they'll probably be greeted by, in what my guess is, either the Celtics, the Cavs, or the Knicks. Most likely the Celtics, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs or Knicks came back and, I mean, let's talk about the Knicks for just 1 second. They're probably my biggest honorable mention because they've added a lot during their offseason, but I can't see them winning a finals just yet. They have a lot of depth, so if they do go on a finals run, yeah, could be completely wrong. They could totally do it. I love the way Tibbs uses his system to his advantage. I mean, I love it. And on the West, going back to the West, let's get one more team from the West. Off the top of my head, let's just go with the Nuggets. Jokic is Jokic, right? I don't really need to go dive deep into him. He's a stud. Murray's been struggling, so whatever. He'll get it back. He's playoff Murray, right? Playoff Murray. Especially against my Lakers. That guy pisses me off when he plays the Lakers. MPJ, he's been struggling. Aaron Gordon's been playing really good, and the 5th spot's like Vlatko shout out Vlatko Cankar, but he's not the 5th spot. I was thinking of Christian Brown. I don't know why that guy came into my head. That's a really, really weird pull. But yeah, and then you have like Peyton Watson off the bench. They're solid, but again, they're also kind of missing those players for like the key pieces around Jokic. I mean, they have their shooter in MPJ, which he has been struggling. And I love MPJ, but he's been getting more assists also, if you've been watching the games. And then I'm just going to go one more team in the West just for fun. The Mavs. The Mavs are another team that kind of gives them a little bit of competition, but I still think that the Thunder are going to beat them unless Luka has like a legacy series against them in the playoffs like he did last time. But the Mavs, like they lost like, some pieces. Like Derrick Jones. Derrick Jones Jr. is a big addition for the Clippers. I think he's a really, really good player. I mean, he's really athletic. He's shown progression in his shooting, which that was my main problem with the Mavs last year. I believe that if they had better shooting, 100% they could have won the finals. 100%. But they didn't have better shooting. They had Derrick Jones shooting those shots, which he's not bad. But they replaced Derrick Jones with Quentin Grimes and Klay Thompson, and they're giving my guy, Jaden Hardy, some minutes for the first time in so long. And I'm so happy to see that because I think Jaden Hardy is a stud scorer. I mean, you have Gafford but he's mostly defense unless Luka's throwing him lobs. Same with Lively. Lively can't really score that much, but he's a great big man. He just doesn't score very much. But both those big men are very efficient when they are scoring. They got PJ Washington. I love PJ Washington. He's their like stopper, right? He's their best defender. Kyrie's Kyrie Irving. I don't really need to talk about Kyrie, right? We know him. He's so phenomenally talented, but it's the off the court issues, And who else fills out that starting 5? I'm not thinking straight right now. I need to get some more sleep. But I mean, let's focus in. Oh, it's Clay. What am I thinking of? Clay, I was just talking about him earlier. Again, veteran leadership, good shooter, good defender, perfect fit. Let's talk about what I like that the Mavs did. Last season they saw that they struggled in shooting. They went and signed like 3 or 4 shooters. That is a perfect move by the front office. Now, I don't have him in my top 3 for favorites because Luka's kind of struggling this year, but it's really early again. Um, yeah, I mean, those are my rankings. I mean, in this order. These are my rankings in this order. I haven't said this clear in the video yet. 1 Celtics, 2 Cavs, 3 Thunder. But I will say Cavs and Thunder are kind of like interchangeable. But Celtics are at 1. It's not close. In my opinion, it's not that close.